Hello everyone and welcome back for another F1 24 driver career mode video with Enzo Fittipaldi. We are here with season 1 round 12 and the British Grand Prix. If you did miss the video that went live a couple days ago from Austria, I do recommend you go and check it out. We did manage to grab our first podium, and Max Verstappen got his 4th win in a row and is really spacing out the Drivers' Championship lead over Carlos Sainz. So now let's hop into our specialist goals. We did choose complete the race weekend with no more than 3 collisions. Obviously, that is pretty much the bare minimum. Really don't want to get into too many incidents. Then we always have the goal of finishing better than our teammate in qualifying, so I thought that would be a pretty good one to go with. And then receive fewer than 3 corner cutting warnings. Obviously, we did have an incident with getting a 3-second penalty last weekend. Didn't cost us anything, but that's just a personal goal of mine as well as a specialist goal to make sure not to get 3 corner cut warnings. As then perfect 1 practice program, pretty much a given during the race weekend. So we're going to go ahead and take that one as well. So now we're going to hop on into the R&D screen here. We do have a major downforce upgrade we could do with the Halo. Also a major downforce upgrade, a major chassis upgrade we can do with the monocoque structure. As our chassis is lacking, that really would only put us ahead of Williams, though, not even fully catching up to Haas, and it won't be on the car till Zandvoort. What kind of engine upgrades do we have here, as we don't have enough points for that? That's just fuel efficiency. I don't think we're going to be too worried about that. I think I'm going to go ahead and apply this rear downforce upgrade. It is the cheapest, and we do have to wait for it until Zandvoort, but as long as it passes with only a 20% failure chance, we should be closer to Aston Martin in the downforce. So yeah, let's hop on into practice now for the British Grand Prix and hopefully start this weekend off strong. Before we hop on into practice, though, I actually want to give a quick little weather update. The race is going to be dry, but qualifying is going to start wet and then should dry up. So if we can make it into Q3, we may have some dry track. But yeah, definitely going to start with some mixed conditions here, as I believe that's the 3rd weekend in a row that we've had rain. Let's see. This would be the 4th weekend in a row that we've had rain, as Canada, Spain, Austria all had mixed conditions at one point throughout the weekend. Obviously, Canada and Austria went really well for us. Spain was the outlier, did terrible there. Really got the strategy wrong, but hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can put together a decent lap in the rain in qualifying and get a good grid position.
It might not be race day yet, but you wouldn't know it from looking at the stands. The fans are out in force. It's practice time here at Silverstone.
Well, here we are for the first lap of the race weekend here at Silverstone and in the British Grand Prix. Obviously, a ton of fans from F1 here in Silverstone. Not a historically important track for us or the team, obviously with a French team and an American driver, but it still always means a lot if you can have a good race weekend here in Silverstone.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through the numbers.
We're just able to get our first purple score of the weekend there. It did take us 3 laps though, so a little bit scruffy, but we got it done. Here we are for lap 1 of our race strategy practice program. Oh, we hit a pretty big pothole there. I did elect to do it on the softs this weekend. I used the mediums on my tire management practice program. We did manage to get a purple score in that as well, as yeah, I definitely wanted to get the info on the softs here, because we know Silverstone really isn't hard on the tires, so the softs may be a viable tire to use for our race strategy. Like usual, we're going to use no overtake, no DRS here, as Max Verstappen is right behind us here. The Dutchman wants to get by us here in practice, as we may be holding him up. Obviously, he's in a much faster car in that Red Bull. As, man, Maggots and Beckett's is just absolutely amazing. This track is just one of a kind, as Max is going to open his rear wing here and probably just blow right by us. He's actually struggling too, as, oh, I don't know what the Dutchman's doing there, but he leaves us absolutely no space. I guess he thought I was just going to fully back out as we are going for a delta here, so I can't just completely back out Max, as yeah, that is gonna cost us lap 1 here on our race strategy practice program, as Max Verstappen is really just a pain in my side. And then we invalidate lap 2. We managed to let Max by in a pretty good way, so we were still up on the delta quite nicely, but yeah, we're going to need 3 clean laps here to close this program if we want to walk away with our final purple score here and the max amount of resource points we can get. Here we are coming through Maggots and Beckett's for the final time on our race strategy practice program. Managed to have 2 clean laps in a row after those first scruffy laps. Obviously Max Verstappen did not make him easy, and then the second one was definitely on me. As coming through this final fast right-hander, oh, we go a little wide. Make sure to slow down so we don't invalidate. Now we're close to not making it on the delta. We gotta stay committed through these last few corners. Be careful not to get some oversteer when we get on the throttle.
Complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can take you through the numbers.
Welcome along, everybody, to a venue that was built for speed. Once an airfield, now one of the finest racetracks in the world. It's qualifying day here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix.
Here we are for lap 1 of qualifying here in Silverstone. Obviously, we're just trying to feel out the grip here, find the limits of the track, as we have not done any laps in the rain this weekend, as everything has been dry and the race is expected to be dry after, so don't have a wet setup in. Obviously, I did do a couple tweaks that I can change for the race to the setup just to help a little bit in these damp conditions. But we are going to look to put it through to Q3 here. Yeah, decent qualifying effort from us last week, obviously. So we just need to back that up here and have another one. We showed we have the pace in the rain. We just need to capitalize on it. Coming through these final few corners here. Oh, we just missed the apex of that corner, which isn't going to help us in these last couple. Try to get the power down. Let's see what it's going to be. A 139.9. Just behind Gasly, between Gasly and Albon. We definitely need to pick up, but not a bad lap feeling out the grip there. We're going to do 1 cooldown lap and then go for 1 more. Here we are coming to our second attempt here. A lot better exit out of that first corner. Already 3/10 up on the delta here. Just gotta stay committed. We are really feeling out the grip here. Obviously the tires are a little bit more warmed up this lap too. Plus there's more of a dry line formed, as we just gotta stay committed here. Try to extract as much time as we can. Almost invalidate there. Luckily we didn't somehow though. So we're now 5.5 tenths up on the delta here. Gotta try to stay committed. Find the time in the grip where we can. Was a little over the limit there, and oh, we're sliding again. And this is not what we need, as it is just costing us a ton of time here. Still 2.5 tenths up though. Obviously a lot of time to be found in the lap. We're probably gonna have to go once more after this if we're going to want to make it through, because obviously as we're picking up, everyone else is picking up.
Pushed down to P17.
As Mark lets us know, we are pushed down to P17. Currently 5 tenths up on Gasly's time, but obviously everyone else will be going out for their second run soon as well. As, yeah, we are almost just losing it on the exits here, putting down the power a little bit too much coming through these final few corners.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
As Mark lets us know, we only have 2 laps of fuel. We're up to P11, but I don't think that'll be enough as the conditions start to get better towards the end of qualifying 1 here. Here we are, coming for another run here. Trying to gain as much time as we can. Obviously not the lap we wanted the time before this. I did put enough fuel again for a cooldown and a push lap after this, so this isn't our only attempt. As,
right, we're right on the cusp now. We've been pushed down to P11.
as obviously the track is going to be gaining more grip here, as you can really see a massive dry line is formed. We're already a second up on our previous times. A ton more grip to be found in the track here, as we are purple in Sector 1. Obviously, everyone's still yet to go out and put out their last run, as we just slightly left the dry line there, which cost us quite a bit of time. Already almost 2 seconds up on our delta here, though, as this is absolutely crazy. Oh, Cops is pretty much flat out there, as you are really getting to drier level conditions here. It's obviously still raining, but the speed we're able to put through the car now is a lot higher. Big snap right there. Able to maintain it though. Drain our battery down this back stretch, as we are now 2.5 tenths up in purple in both sectors. Just got to stay committed here. That's going to be an invalidation, as luckily it isn't. I tried to slow down quite a bit to not gain us a massive amount of time so they wouldn't invalidate our lap. Luckily they didn't. Let's see what it's going to be across the line. A 1:36.1. P1 for now, but I'm sure everyone else is going to go out and set a lap time as the conditions improve. Okay, these are some very, very mixed results here in Q1, as both the Mercedes, both the McLarens, and the Red Bull of Sergio Perez all out in Q1. And starting from the back here, as all three British drivers in the field are knocked out in Q1. I'm definitely sure that is not what the British fans wanted to see, and I don't think that's what they expected to see either, as the McLarens and the Mercedes just completely failing their strategy and just not getting their cars out on the track at the right time. As, yeah, that is definitely gonna mix up the order here, as all those drivers will be looking to come through the back of the field here in Silverstone. Well, Mark predicts the rain to stop in about 5 minutes, so we may get some soft running at the end of this session. I am going to go out early, though, and look to put down a banker on the intermediates here. Grip should still be pretty high from Q1. Obviously, the track rubbering in more and more. Gonna try to put in a decent lap time here. We are used to these wet conditions, just in case that the track doesn't dry out like it's expected to. Yeah, I do think this lap may be for nothing, though, as we may have to put down a lap on the softs at the end of this session. Oh, and we invalidate. I tried to go flat through Cops there, and it just wasn't enough. Not enough grip here on the intermediates in the rain, the slick conditions still. I did put enough fuel in for a cooldown and a push lap, so I am 2.5 seconds up on Ricciardo's time though, which is absolutely crazy. So we're gonna go wide there too. Obviously we already validated, so I'm not too worried about it. Gonna go throw down a cool lap, and then we're gonna do one more push lap before the rain stops.
Okay, we've been pushed down.
Pretty good exit there into the first corner. Fully flat, even in the wet conditions here. Try to brake as late as we can, get it stopped. Oh, a little bit of oversteer there as I was getting on the throttle a little too hard.
Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres. And that's P13, P13.
2 tenths up right now. Mark thinks the track is going to be drying out. I still see rain though, so this banker will be, oh, critical as we get a giant snap. We're now 6 tenths down. Not what we needed with that snap of oversteer, but still, I want to get this banker down. Cops, I lifted a little bit right there. I think we maybe could have took it flat. Last time I tried, though, obviously we invalidated, so I was being a little safe. Max, that's a 35-0 here. And the rain seems to just be disappearing, as it is definitely going to be a dry track soon. What are we going to put across the line, though, here for our banker? Obviously slower than our first lap in wetter conditions. We just didn't get this lap hooked up. Too many mistakes, as we do a 36.5. puts us ahead of our teammate. Decent banker, but with the track drying out, we know it's all going to come down to our run on the softs. Only 2 drivers have gone out to set a lap here, as it's just Magnussen and Ricciardo, as the track condition still says it's wet. So they're on intermediates. It's too wet for softs currently, and we're not going to have enough time to set a soft run. Even if both of them pick up and go faster than me, I'm still going to make it in. So yeah, we are guaranteed to make it through to Q3 here. Very, very different top 10 here, as both the Aston Martins in the top 4. And Alex Albon, Zhou Guanyu, and Yuki Tsunoda round out the top 10, as both the Alpines are 6th and 7th. Yeah, Nico Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo just miss out. Wasn't quite fast enough to make it into the latter part of qualifying. Yeah, definitely different top 10 here. The rain has brought some intrigue to the weekend early, and we will have some fast cars trying to climb their way through the field. Now let's hop on into Q3 and hopefully get ourselves a decent qualifying position. So here we are on the soft tire in Q3. The track is dry, although I'm sure it is still very green. Obviously the rain washing away all the rubber. So we are going to have to be a little bit careful here. And the time should ramp up as the latter half of this session closes up. Once we get to that final run, it should be the fastest. As 1:30.3 from Charles Leclerc. It's about 2 seconds off where I expected him to be, honestly. So maybe even 3 seconds. We gotta stay committed. As a 28.6 from Carlos Sainz, that's a lot more what I was expecting. As we almost invalidate there and run a little bit wide. Try to get the car stopped here. Finish out the lap strong in these final couple corners. What's it going to be? A 29.0 P4. Just a 10.5 behind Alonso and right in front of Gasly. Alright, here we are for our final run here. We're quicker than our teammate by only half a tenth. Currently in P5. We're going to need to pick up if we want to start anywhere in the top 3.
Drop to P10, your 5th row of the grid now. Come on, let's go again.
As everyone's time has just ramped up here at the end. We're 5/10 up as well. Purple in Sector 1. We gotta stay committed and we invalidate. I just went a little too deep right there. As we definitely could have put a P6 ahead of Tsunoda. Unfortunate.
Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry. We'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Carlos Sainz grabs pole here at the British Grand Prix as Alex Albon puts his Williams all the way up in P3. Absolutely mega effort by him, and I'm sure no one saw that coming. As it really has been the year of the underdogs, with me doing great for Alpine, and then now Albon potentially challenging for a podium here if his race pace is anything like his qualifying pace. As Carlos Sainz will look to end Max's four race win streak, as we weren't able to put it together in qualifying. Invalidated our last lap, and I don't think we had anything for the front runners, but I think we could have beat Yuki Tsunoda and put our car P6. Hopefully we can turn it around for the Grand Prix though. So now let's get on into the race.
Welcome to not only the home of British motorsport, but also the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, a classic on the calendar, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Gasly, Stroll, Zhou, Fittipaldi, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Sargent, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Norris, Russell, and Sergio Perez completes our grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was about 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometres an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Well, here we are on the grid in Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. We're starting 10th, our teammate Pierre Gasly starting 7th. Obviously, that early Q1 exit for both the Mercedes, both the McLarens, and the Red Bull of Sergio Perez is definitely helping us midfield teams. Maybe challenge for points this weekend, but they will be looking to have comeback drives and charge their way through the field to overpass us. As they are recommending we go with the softs. That data we gathered in practice on the race strategy program on softs, obviously working well. They thought, just like I did, that the softs lasted for a long time. So I do think soft to mediums will be a good strategy. That's what we're going to roll with. Now let's hop on into the Grand Prix.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
Everyone in the field electing to start on that soft compound, as we know Silverstone really doesn't wear those tires too much.
As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
Yeah, we're starting P10 on the grid here. Obviously very opportunistic considering 2 McLarens, 2 Mercedes, and a Red Bull all out in Q1. A lot of the midfield drivers able to capitalize on that and have some decent starting position here. The question is will those fast drivers in the back be able to make their way through the field, as we have Sergio Perez heading up the rear of the field right behind 2 Mercedes and 2 McLarens. Definitely not a sight we are used to seeing, as it is lights out and away we go there. Need to get a good start here, just under the Salbergeau there. We do bang wheels and make contact. We do get a slight warning for that collision. We're able to send it up his inside. Now along his outside, can we make the move stick as Lance Stroll brakes on the apex there? And it's lights out and away we go here in Silverstone, as Carlos Sainz gets off the line terribly and Max Verstappen is able to claim the lead into turn 1. A very familiar sight as 2024 has developed. Holds us up quite a bit. We're able to make our way past Zhou there though. And now we're going to drain our battery here. Look to the inside of our teammate in Lance Stroll as we are 3 wide into this corner here. Who's going to come out on top? We're still 3 wide, as I should have the best run here on the exit. Oh, we get a tire off into the gravel there. Farther down in the pack, here's a move made by us using the slipstream on our teammate of Pierre Gasly, diving under him and Lance Stroll, taking it 3 wide here. No one wanting to back out or give any room, as somehow we all make it out of the corner alive and we just get our left rear tire on the gravel there. Able to make it by Lance Stroll and now use our battery to force it around the outside of our teammate there. And we're able to pick up both positions here on lap 1. As now it's a drag race into cops here. We're able to make our way by our teammate. Now it's all about running the guys down ahead and staying in their DRS, as we're already up to P7 here. I honestly couldn't have scripted much better of a start there. Back into the DRS 2 of the guys ahead. Gotta charge our battery back up though. Otherwise we will be a sitting duck, as they're gonna go side by side through that corner A Ferrari and a Williams, not a sight you see much often these days, maybe 5-10 years ago, but as Alex Albon is going backwards, but he's going to look to grab a good position here in that Williams.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
As the V-Carb of Yuki Tsunoda also in the top 5 there. Yeah, all these midfield drivers looking to capitalize on the mistakes of the McLarens and the Mercedes. We're managing to stay with this front pack quite nicely, but unfortunately in the DRS train it is just almost impossible to make a move on the guys ahead, especially because our straight line speed is, as we know, one of the worst in the entire field. We're struggling to make a move here, but we are able to hold with them though, so as long as we're patient, it may come to us. Gonna dive to the inside of Fernando here. That was a last second that was an unplanned move. We're able to make it stick though. That was a close move on a 2-time world champion, as our teammate's gonna look to do the same and get by the Spaniard of Fernando Alonso here. He isn't quite able to do it though, as Alonso goes defensive. Here's another look on the dive bomb we made on Fernando Alonso as we send it into a very small gap. He leaves us enough room, we leave him enough room. We do kind of squeeze him on the exit there, but we're able to put the power down and make the move stick. As our teammate looks under Fernando, but isn't quite able to make the move himself. The two Ferraris side by side ahead here as Max Verstappen is just driving off into the distance. Looking to grab his 5th win in a row here and really cement his 4th World Drivers' Championship in a row. I mean, with how bad Mercedes has been struggling recently, though, the really blunder of a strategy, their development not growing the way they wanted to, we're almost catching up to Mercedes in development. We're only right behind them in the R&D. There is a big gap in development from us to them. But they're the 5th worst car, we're the 6th worst car. So not a huge step up to Mercedes. If things keep going like they are, it may be smarter for us to just stay with the French-based team in Alpine and look to win a championship for them. Unless maybe another top team is also scouting us that we don't know about. But with how things are looking, Mercedes are going downward. Can we send it on Tsunoda, the same place we did it to Alonso? We're just able to not run into the side of the Japanese driver there.
Brilliant, nice move, keep going.
Didn't give him too much room on the exit. Mark is thrilled with the move. Up to P5 now for us. And we need to try to get past that Williams of Alexander Albon. Just a few short laps later, same position we made the move on Alonso. We're going to do the same move on Yuki Tsunoda. We get a little bit more space left for us. We leave a little bit more space for him. And we're still able to make the move stick as we are really slicing our way through the pack. Carlos Sainz in 3rd with his teammate of Charles Leclerc right ahead. You gotta wonder if team orders will play a role here. Them knowing that Sainz is fighting for a driver's championship here. I mean,
okay, the car behind is dropping back. We're seeing a gap starting to form.
It is getting, the odds are getting slimmer and slimmer here as Max Verstappen really turns on the jets and has started to dominate again. But it is still possible. Every point counts, as we've come to find out over the years. Our engineer wants us to save our ERS and get our battery back to a good level, so that is what we are going to do here before we have to pit. Obviously, due for our stop on lap 8. I think that is when we're going to pit. I don't think it's worth pitting a lap early for the undercut with how little these tires are dropping off, honestly. Still feel like they have a ton of grip, and obviously we're going to the slower compound. Get a really good exit here. We got a lot of bite. Open the DRS.
Pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
Oh, we tried to sweep around the outside. Alex Albon closes us off, though. As now we are pitting, and so is Albon. Woo! Just able to get it stopped in time there. That was close, but I feel like we definitely maximized the time loss there. Hopefully we don't get held up
Okay,
here.
go, go, go.
Oh,
that was a
beautiful
fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting.
We jump Albon too. Absolutely mega. Beautiful. Now we need to put in some quick laps here.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Almost binned it on exit. That would have been funny.
The ERS is offline. Offline. We're currently looking into the problem.
Oh my god, we have no DRS. At a track that's just so important for it. I don't understand what is the issue with this team, man. Yeah, honestly,
DRS will be offline. There's a fault with the rear wing system. Stay out. We can work on a fix
I
remotely.
never see this issue with real teams. But then with my team, it happens all the time. Absolutely criminal. As long as we stay ahead of the drivers behind, it really doesn't matter if we don't have DRS. If we are in a DRS train, though, it's going to be tough. As Alonso has made his way by Alexander Albon. Where are we going to come out? Just ahead of Gasly. The overcut, I think, has worked out nicely for those guys as...
The car ahead's coming to fit the mediums. Car ahead now running medium tyres.
Yes, have those soft tire runners stayed out one more lap? I think they have, as Gasly's going to look to drive right by us there. The straight line speed advantage he had on us was just absolutely insane. Because I still think our ERS is down. They did say our ERS was down, and then they also said our DRS was down, so... And asked for a vehicle condition upgrade, and he said nothing. Yeah, Mark is absolutely giving me no update on our vehicle condition. You just love to see it. I think the ERS is okay. Currently, it's obviously just the rear wing we're having major issues with. So that's going to be a warning. I believe that's just the first warning of the race, though, so as long as I'm careful, that shouldn't affect us too much. As Russell's now in the pits, throwing on the mediums. Hopefully we got a nice undercut on everyone here. Oh, Gasly's up to P3, and I'm in P4 here. As we are right behind the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. I don't think Charles Leclerc has pitted yet. So if we're able to put down some quick laps, we may be able to undercut him as well. I don't know, though, because Sainz is a good 2 seconds ahead of us. I just have to hope that Pierre Gasly does not get within the DRS of Carlos Sainz, because if he does, yeah, he will probably check out, because unfortunately our DRS is offline. As Alonso is going to use the DRS here, look to make a move. I'm going to box him in on Pierre Gasly. We will get the inside line. Try not to get a warning there. We just don't. We're able to hold off Alonso one more time. We gotta try to deploy in really, really strategic spots because we will not have the availability of that rear wing. It's looking like it is gonna be a battle between me and Gasly for that last step on the podium. As I've already gotten one podium this year, obviously in the last race. Should have had two, but we let it slip away in Canada. As, yeah, Gasly has not managed to get a podium yet, as, oh, we get our second warning of the race. And now I have to be super, super careful and on edge. I cannot allow myself to get a 3-second penalty here. I'm really wondering, when is the team gonna tell me that the DRS is back online? I feel like they just don't want us to pass Pierre and shut it off.
Okay, Enzo, Pierre ahead. Right, here we go. Let's look to get past quickly and put them on the back foot.
Well, maybe not, because they do want us to pass Pierre, so it may just be a normal fault after all. As it will be tough to pass him, though, with no DRS. We're going to have to do it old school. Luckily, he doesn't have the benefit of DRS as well, so we're going to have to get a good run out of one of the corners and just drain our battery. So to do that, we're going to have to get our battery into a good window, but we also have to make sure we don't let Alonso get by.
That's us down a place.
As going defensive on Alonso That's kind of where we're going to have to
I've got
strategically...
information on Stroll. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
That's where we're going to have to deploy our battery, as we can't let Alonso get by us here. Can we get close enough to Gasly here to try to make a move? Because I'm just not there. We need DRS to come back online. Come on, team. Get the issue fixed. I'm going to look to go by Gasly here. I saved up my battery enough. Grab the slipstream here. Use all my battery down to his
Great stuff. It
inside.
looks like you made easy work of that target. Let's try and keep that going right through to the end of the race.
The question is, can I hold on for these last 4 laps? As Gasly's going to use the DRS this time to try to go by. And we're not able to hold on. There's just no chance. As Alonso's going to look to try to go by as well. But he won't quite have it. We're going to deploy a little battery there on the exit. Obviously, get a slipstream from our teammate, who's kind of giving Alonso the slipstream as well. Not really helping us there. He could have pulled over a little more to give us the slipstream.
Your DRS is unavailable. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix.
Wow, I got so excited. I thought Mark was about to tell me it was back up. But instead he just rubs in the fact that it's unavailable. Yeah, Mark, I'm painfully aware that it's unavailable, mate.
Okay, we've been given a time penalty.
And we get a...
We'll go against
No
that finishing
way.
time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done.
Oh, I was trying to run Alonso wide, and it just gives me a 3-second penalty for that. Well, now it's all about holding off the guys ahead for Pierre. And, yeah, I don't know where we're gonna finish now. Oh, man, but it definitely won't be anywhere near the podium. So unfortunate. Still not up, either. The team has really let me down. It's been a good weekend for us, though, as far as pace goes. Gasly's gonna get his first podium of the year. Alpine's second podium. I'm gonna make sure of that. I will hold off the guys behind for him. Out of Maggots and Beckett's for the final time here. Charles Leclerc is going to look to go to my inside. I'm going to have to give him some space. Are we able to hang it around the outside? I think we're going to be able to, as Max Verstappen wins the British Grand Prix. His 5th win in a row, and he's really putting his stamp on a claim for his 4th Drivers' Championship in a row, as Pierre Gasly gets his first podium.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
As Pierre Gasly gets his first podium of the year, and we are 7th.
The checkered flag is out. We're going to be hearing that Dutch national anthem again because it's victory for Max Verstappen.
And that's 2 wins in a row now. It's the start of potentially something special, but they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. There's a long way to go.
Well, that's more than 2 wins in a row. That's 5 wins in a row for Max, as, yeah, he's not really ahead of himself. He is in the zone.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
Well, Pierre Gasly, his first podium of the year, as Carlos Sainz is in second, minimizing the points loss, but still losing points to the Dutchman at the end of the day. Yeah, great finish for Alpine, 3rd and 4th on track, but yeah, we fall down to P7 after a 3-second penalty. I knew that was going to be, that was one of my goals, not to get a 3-second penalty, but I wasn't quite able to reach it.
And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Max Verstappen wins here in Silverstone as Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly round out the podium. We fall all the way down to 7th after an unfortunate 3-second penalty. Logan Sargent rounds out your top 10 and grabs a point. Double points finish here for Williams in their best weekend of the year. And another mention to Lando Norris, who went from 18th all the way up to 8th. The best finisher out of all the 5 drivers, the 5 big drivers who made it out in Q1. Yeah, Max Verstappen is now really putting his claim on his fourth Drivers' Championship as he has 56 points lead over Carlos Sainz. Yeah, I mean, it's still very, very doable for Carlos, but he's going to need to start winning races. Seconds aren't going to be enough here, especially when it's Max who is winning the race. He's going to have to really put it to the Dutch driver here if he wants any chance at winning a championship. And it was a great day for Pierre. He's now only 30 points behind me in the Drivers' Championship and firmly in P11. As for the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull has a 5-point lead over Ferrari. They're really checking out on McLaren, but McLaren isn't out of it quite yet, as the Constructors' Championship can swing very rapidly. As we're in 5th now, over Aston Martin, just 1 point ahead after the mega day from myself and Pierre Gasly. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to challenge for 4th. I didn't think we'd be able to challenge for 5th, honestly. But we are, and the more upgrades we bring, the more confident that I think we can bring it to Aston Martin. So, yeah, thank you to everyone who watched the video. Please like and subscribe, and you guys have a great day.